Isaac Kotek, Subaqueous, and in this video I'm going to be talking about getting a lo-fi sound with your music. I've been obsessed with getting this like VHS kind of tape saturation sound, and I have been digging through thrift stores and online finding the right gear for this. Check out the before and after, and then I'm going to show off some free things that I have for you, some free downloads of synths and presets I've made from these types of sounds. So let's check it out. Cool, so here we are in live. I put together a track using a bunch of different synths like Wavetable, as well as some samples and Junos and things like that. So let's hear it. Let's go where it actually gets a little more interesting. Nice, lots of polysynth, things like that. It's close to that kind of retro sound that I want, but let's see what happens when I start putting it through all this different gear like VHS and tape decks and things like that. I mean, already that intro is way more interesting to me with all that grime and crackle and moving sound. And here's where the beat comes in. Nice, it's got that weird pitch movement sort of thing going on. Yeah. Very like the never-ending story, right? Riding on the back of Falcor. Yeah. And hear the original. So this one's way more sharp, right? Like I can hear those drums way more in the front, and the synths are more kind of bright. But I feel this second one has a lot more character to it. It has both this like nostalgic feeling to it, but also the lo-fi makes it seem a lot less like a computer, a lot warmer, a lot fuller. So how I went about this is by using actual VCRs and tapes and getting different types of tapes. Man, I spent a lot of time on really fine-tuning these techniques. I'm going to make a lot of videos on that and how I use the type of gear, but that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is I'm going to be showing you some awesome collection of presets and sounds that I put together for free that you can go ahead and download. Now, these presets were made by making synths, running them through different types of analog gear. I would also have to open up the VCR, move the tape heads to get warble sounds and use old tapes or whatever and go through all these different recordings and make them into instrument racks in Ableton Live. Super fun process and some cool sounds that I'm going to be giving to you guys to use in your music production or whatever you want. So here we are in Live 10, but these will also be able to be downloaded for Live 9. And let's check them out. So this was like a bass synthesis that I created, ran through a VHS as well as a cassette deck to give it that saturation. Now, one thing you'll notice on a lot of these is we've got, this is the sound here, and then we have these two other chains. Now, the cool thing about these chains is they have a volume control to these right here. So let's turn this down. If you want to give it that crackle, and I've got different type of noise samples, like this one has air and tape and so on, right? Now, something I came up with, which is a really cool way of making it kind of glued together, is on this, the old tape, for instance, I actually have on here a sidechain compressor that is sidechaining that particular chain. Now, when I play it, turn this up, you notice those peaks kind of push down the sound themselves, making it really sound like it was in the VCR, getting all strange during playback, giving it that unique character. So you can add that or you can keep it away, make it a little more clean. Granted, it's all going to be lo-fi and dirty no matter what, but how much grit do you want into it? So that's the first one, Ace Bass. The second one is Reverse FX. This was pretty cool, made from a sound of reversing the tape. It's kind of a happy accident that I put this together during my recording. So here you go. And you also have things like reverb, delay, chorus, whoa, and distortion. You'll find that in all of these guys. Next up, we've got a Radical Polysynth. This was using a polysynth to give it a very unique kind of 80s sound. I just love the wah and flutter that I've been able to get out of all this different analog gear. Gives it really unique character that you can use in your music. Next up, we got the Lo-Fi Casio piano. This was using an old school Casio, one of those little toy ones. recording that sound, then processing it through all this different gear to give it that unique quality. Sounds more interesting than it was originally, where it was really tingy and just kind of obvious. Now it has a lot more character to it. Next up, tubular. You would have noticed with the radical, tubular, ace, gnarly. I was really trying to use the lingo, hip lingo from back in the 80s. So here we go with tubular. And yeah, I really like this sound. It has a very Boards of Canada type of sound. Next up, a gnarly lead. Let's turn up these VHS air and tape. You can see that it gives it that really worn out tape sound when you turn those guys up with that sidechain compression. And lastly, we've got Trekkin'. Yeah, Trekkin'. Love Star Trek. Good stuff. Just love all those strange harmonics you can get out of that using tape. Some of these tapes I totally destroyed in the process, and other ones I just recorded over and over and over to get that really worn out, interesting sound. So there you go. All 7 of these presets will be available for free by donation on my site. A link is in the descriptions. These 7 presets are also a part of a much larger live pack that's for sale at my site, subiquousmusic.com. You can also check out that link. It's a part of my Lo-Fi synth collection. It has 24 tape-saturated, dripping VHS synths, and this is but 7 of the whole pack, 24. Plus I also got 14 retro synth based off analog gear, collection of tape hiss, Crackle samples, a bunch of VHS sounds that you can use in your mix, as well as some bonus Casio drum loops, as well as some bonus things, including an entire lo-fi Ableton template, which is the track that I've been showing off. I put all those instruments together, wrote it, and you can download the entire template with all the MIDI and everything. So check it out, Subiquous Music, link in the description. Thanks a lot for checking out this video. Subscribe, download, and more coming at you.